This young Serbian, Bojan, came here a couple of weeks ago. It's a well-known bridge in Kosovska Mitrovica. It divides the city into two parts, Serbian and Albanian. He thought he was going to fight to defend Serbia, but for now his only weapon is an axe, and keeping his tent up near the barricades is his only combat mission. He's only seen his potential adversary, Kosovar Albanians, from a distance. They're on the other bank of the Ibor River.
This is Serbian land, both here and on the other side of the bridge.
Choppers coming here every day make a lot of noise. They keep children awake, and adults can't do their jobs properly. This unnerves the people.
Every hour, helicopters make life uncomfortable for Zlatibor Đorđević, along with several thousand others living in the village of Leposavić. However, the Kosovar Serbs themselves are partly to blame for this situation. In the summer of 2011, they blocked roads in the region's north to hold up traffic carrying international troops and officials from Pristina. As a result, the only way Albanian border guards and customs officials can now reach the base near the border with central Serbia is by air.
This barricade in Leposavić was built 4 months ago. That's when Albanian special forces tried to enter this territory to set up their policemen and customs officials on the border with Serbia. When news of that came through, village activists left their homes in a bid to stop them. I must say in all fairness that the situation in the north of Kosovo resembles the Battle of Stalingrad. Unarmed Serbian people opposing native forces armed to the teeth.
Units from the Kosovo Force, known as KFOR, an international organization established by NATO, attempted to dismantle the barricades. It sparked the biggest standoff since Kosovo's declaration of independence in 2008.
This is force. No force. No force. Yes.
Oj Kosovo, Kosovo, zemljo moja voljena, zemljo slavnih vitezova Lazara.
Ivana Žigon drives through the Serb barricades without a hitch. Ivana, who's a popular Serbian actress and singer, comes to northern Kosovo almost every month.
I have a plan to meet people there. You need to help people, because they fight for their liberty there. They built the barricades. It's cold now, and they're standing for their city. And they're all alone. So we, people of art, have to help as much as we can.
On her way to the divided city of Kosovska Mitrovica, Ivana always visits Mount Kapaonik, Serbia's highest point. Northern Kosovo is in full view from an altitude of nearly 2 kilometers.
From here, you can see almost all of Serbia, far and wide. Kosovo is over there. In the words of a poet, This is more than just mountains, plains and the graves of our ancestors who lost their lives fighting for Europe's freedom.
I'm not from Kosovo, but I feel the need to be here together with the people to demonstrate my support. These people have lived in a state of siege for 12 years. In the past 6 months, they have been struggling for control of this bridge. I hope they will continue their struggle and achieve their goal. People like me are few and far between here. Our politicians come here for only 2 or 3 days, and all they do is make promises.
Bojan has kept a diary since the first day of his vigil and spends his free time collecting his thoughts in it.
December the 8th. Each day is like all the others. I'm down in the dumps in this tent, but I hope to get used to it with time. I hear the Kosovo force removed the barricades in Jarica several times, but our guys put them up anew.
This bridge is the main bridge in Mitrovica, which connect two parts of Mitrovica, that are completely ethnically divided now after the war in '99. I mean, the situation before the war was not like that.
This man, Nehmedin Spahiu, strolls along an invisible border. Unlike Bojan, he's kept an eye on the standoff between Kosovar Albanians and Serbs for more than a decade. His memories of bitter clashes on this bridge are still fresh.
I remember the clashes many times here on this bridge. The Albanians and Serbs were stoned each other, and the cordons of Kafirs were in between.
The former Yugoslav leader Josip Broz Tito laid the foundation for the current conflict by granting autonomous status to Kosovo in 1963. The population of mostly ethnic Albanians demanded independence after Yugoslavia broke up. But open clashes between the Kosovo Liberation Army and Serbian troops broke out. In 1999, NATO intervened on the side of the Kosovars. Months of bombardment by Allied aircraft compelled then Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic to pull troops out of Kosovo. As a result of the NATO operation, around 500 civilians died. The region declared independence in 2008, but has never been recognized by Belgrade. Around 150,000 Serbs still live in Kosovo.
This is the house I used to live in. My father built it. All the necessary papers were in his name. I can say that this is my house because I'm his son.
Milorad Radivojevic, a Serb, visits what's left of his former house in a suburb of southern Mitrovica in Albanian territory only during the day. It's safer that way. Each visit saddens him. Both years of emptiness and the Albanians living nearby have contributed to the gradual decay of the house built by his father.
I would like to return here, but we need the basic life conditions. If we don't get them back, we won't be able to come back.
Milorad is even more upset by the condition of the local cemetery where Serbs are buried.
You can see how many tombstones have been destroyed. There. These have both been destroyed too. And there, and there.
At the weekend, the marketplace near the bridge in northern Mitrovica turns into a public forum. The latest talking point is the situation with the barricades. But another subject cropped up in December 2011.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Thank you, I'm fine.
I'm representing the Russo-Serbian Society. We're now collecting signatures under applications for Russian passports. Can I ask you to give your signature?
Of course, with all my heart.
Here, put down your first name and last name.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you.
Zlatibor Đorđević began collecting signatures from Kosovo Serbs requesting Russian citizenship in November 2011. He gathered 50,000 in just a few weeks. Milorad Radivojević was among them. People living north of the river Ebor are pinning their hopes on help from Moscow.
We've decided to seek Russian citizenship mainly because we want to get protection from the Russian state. As you know, we in Kosovo have been under pressure, immense pressure from the West for the past 2 years. The West wants us to leave this territory. It wants to expel Serbs from Serbian land. It's ethnic cleansing. We are now witnessing its final phase.
December the 11th, I have heard reports of people in Kosovska Mitrovica signing a petition to request Russian citizenship. They say Zlatibor Đorđević collected 47,000 signatures. All of them were sent to Russia. That was like a bolt from the blue. I know that Russia received the citizenship requests, but it said no in the end.
But Zlatibor is not giving up. He's confident the Russians have not said their final word. The Serb activist continues collecting the signatures of his compatriots seeking Russian citizenship and says he'll wait for as long as it takes. Fellow campaigner Boyan contributes in his own way. He's determined to stay in his tent until the threat of an Albanian invasion disappears.
Is that so much as
I know I am.
Which of course he's right. If that fear has any influence.
Republican Party presidential contenders are falling over themselves in their support of Israel. Is this a reflection of gross ignorance of history and the Israeli?
Wealthy British scion Zach Wilson, investment activist
Markets, finance, scandal. Find out what's really happening to the global economy with Max Kaiser. For a no-holds-barred look at the global financial headlines, tune in to Kaiser Report on RT.
Life in Russia would be so much brighter if you knew more about someone from first impressions. Meetfriends.rt.com.
Ivana Žigon is 2 hours late, but the people manning the barricade near the main bridge of Serbian Mitrovica hold no grudge against her for that. The singing star has a large following among admiring locals. An impromptu show gets underway as an early December dusk descends on Mitrovica.
Oj Kosovo, Kosovo, zemljo moja voljena, zemljo slavnih vitezova Lazara i Miloša, zemljo slavnih vitezova Lazara i Miloša.
They are very decent people. They won't give up their roots and history. They are the backbone of our land. Of course, I'm in no position to give them some advice.
Each day is like all the others. We are here, the Albanians are on the other side of the bridge. But today something interesting happened. Our singer, Ivana Žigon, came here. Nobody but politicians had visited us before. Ivana gave a speech, praised how steadfast we are, and sang my favorite song about Kosovo.
After Ivana's performance, Bojan heads back to his tent for a late supper. This time he will eat a Serbian pie called burek. As he slices it, the young Serb discusses the fate of his long-suffering homeland.
Let's think of this pie as the Yugoslavia of 20 years ago. This slice here is the Republic of Slovenia. It was the first to fall away. So, this is Slovenia. Then, the Republic of Croatia followed suit. This slice is Macedonia. It was the third republic to secede. The Fourth Republic, Bosnia and Herzegovina, broke away in the wake of a hard-fought war. The same fate befell Montenegro. The only remaining state here is Serbia together with Kosovo. Foreigners would dearly like to take it away too. Kosovo is this slice. It's a tiny but inseparable part of Serbia.
The next morning, a convoy of 20 trucks carrying supplies of Russian humanitarian aid retrace Ivana Žigon's journey to northern Kosovo. The supplies include basic necessities, from clothes and medicine to an electric generator.
So far, the forward trucks have been duly processed. They have crossed the administrative line and are now in the region's territory. We expect the other trucks to be allowed through the checkpoint. In that case, we will arrive in Kosovska's Mitrovica in a few hours.
However, any hope that the convoy would reach Mitrovica anytime soon was dashed. The convoy of Russian humanitarian aid became hostage to a long-running territorial dispute. The checkpoint that halted the trucks is the only Pristina-controlled place in the region's north. The Serbs don't recognize it. They use alternative roads to bypass the checkpoint. Like the Serbs, Albanians living in the southern sector of Mitrovica often come to the bridge. As they look across the Ebor River, they hope that sooner or later all of Kosovo will be united under Pristina's authority.
If you would ask Serbs south of River Ebor, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, that they would say the same now. But after they saw, the opportunities of being accommodated into the Kosovo society, then they accepted, and they now, percentage of participation into the Kosovo elections among the Serbs higher than even percentage of the Albanians.
Nihmedin Spahiu is in charge of a television channel in southern Mitrovica. He created this small TV and radio station immediately after the declaration of Kosovo's independence.
This is the very small studio. Here we have a studio for children programs, here for news, here for debates. I think this is the smallest studio that I haven't seen in the world.
The studio's rather sterile appearance is broken only by the anti-Serb caricatures that confront guests as soon as they enter.
This is the Milosevic standing, just hiding and destroying the bridge on Mitrovica. A lot of disappointed people because they expected that independence will be like a miracle, will bring everything good, but there is a lot of those people who are disappointed. They did not achieve what they dreamed to have with the independence.
Kosovo's declaration of independence in February 2008 was symbolized by this structure built in Pristina, bearing the word newborn in giant block letters. The problems of the region's north were at the back of Kosovar minds at the time. It didn't occur to them that the local Serbs would never agree to be ruled by Kosovo's authorities. Kosovo's deputy premier, Hayreddin Kuci, is one of the so-called newborn politicians in Pristina. He takes an optimistic view of what's happening in northern Kosovo. His unshakable belief is that several years from now, the Serbs will realize that they need to look to Pristina in the south rather than Belgrade in the north.
Main problem is that people in northern parts of Kosovo, they are in sandwich, in ghetto. They are forced by Belgrade not to cooperate with us. And we are understanding them because they cannot cooperate with us if Serbia is creating illusions that one day they will come back, this is the part of Serbia or something like that. They need to be much more realistic, not to create illusions anymore. They did create illusions for one part of Croatia, they did illusions to the Serbs for one part of the Bosnia, they are doing the same. Unfortunately, this is a long story, and this story was unsuccessful for Serbia.
Oliver Ivanovic is Kuci's opposite number. He's deputy to the Serbian Minister for Kosovo Affairs. He comes to this region quite often. This time his motorcade has travelled a long distance inside the region. He decided to see what life is like in the small Serbian enclave of Arahovac, surrounded by Albanian settlements.
It's very difficult to expect, that the Security Council in the United Nations will change their mind. As long as the Albanians and Kosovo institutions are not part of the international institutions like UN, they have no chances to prove his independence. The North is in a very particular, position, and we will not accept the Kosovo independence. Due to that, I think that we have to find a solution. The solution could be, very, very special status. That means no Albanian flag, no Albanian court, no Albanian police officer, no Albanian custom.
3 days of intensive talks finally resulted in the Russian humanitarian aid being allowed into northern Kosovo. Thousands of Serbs from the northern sector of Kosovska Mitrovica welcomed the arrival of the trucks loaded with medicines, food and equipment. Bojan was in the crowd, but only for half an hour. It was all the time he could afford before resuming his vigil near the barricade.
I can't say my mission here is pointless. I've been around here for 2 weeks now, and I have done more useful things here than if I'd stayed at home. Each day here I chop firewood and fire the stove. I feel it is my duty to stay here.
Another day of chilly confrontation in Mitrovica has drawn to a close. A faraway muezzin is calling Muslims to evening prayer as French soldiers from KFOR relieve their German counterparts on duty. Meanwhile, Bojan makes another entry in his diary after heating up the stove to keep him warm through the night.
People here in Kosovo want exactly what people in the rest of Serbia do. They want Kosovo to be theirs, not Albanian. People will stay on in these tents regardless of whether our barricades will be torn down. People will come here and look at the bridge. God willing, I'll come here again and again to stand together with my friends.
Землю моя